my protection.
Protection from what?
Koryuken.
We're gonna be in the new world in no time. This is exhilarating. Get excited.
You know, Internet, there was a time. There was a time where Jim Carrey ruled the freaking world.
Of comedy, at least.
Yes, of comedy. And it's no knock against Jim Carrey, it's just comedy's his forte. He came out swinging big. Well, okay, I say that, but he was in movies before, like, he hit it big, but he was in Once Bitten, which is like a crappy, like, teen vampire movie. Wasn't that good. Then he got a spot on In Living Color, and he killed it on there. He made it as, like, the token white guy, because he was. Out of the entire cast, I mean, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Damon Wayans, Kim Wayans, Takia Crystal Kima, David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, Jamie Foxx. He was, him and Kelly Cofield were the only white people on that show. In the first few seasons, at least. But then, of course, as time went on, he actually started getting movie roles akin to, to like his strengths, such as Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective was his first big hit, and early on, a lot of people didn't like it. For instance, Siskel and Ebert said that it was the worst film of 1993. Yeah, they said that. And then, later on, they came back and realized they messed up. Because they actually watched it again, and they found it to be hilarious. And they realized that, you know what? Jim Carrey is actually really freaking funny. And
that's why I still have the theory that some days people just aren't in the mood to watch stuff.
Yeah. Well,
sometimes there are people who tell me they checked out something that I like a lot and they say some stuff about it and I'm like, that doesn't even sound accurate for what it is.
Yeah. I get that sometimes too.
Sometimes I check something out and I'm just like, yeah, nah, I don't think this is for me. But then I think about it and later on I go back and give it another chance when I'm in a different mood and I'm actually I don't know why I didn't like this. This is really good.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have bad days.
I think it just depends on the day for some people.
Yeah, sometimes you just have
Probably
bad
for
days.
Most people, really.
And it happens. But
it's like if you're just not in the mood to watch comedy one day and you're reviewing a comedy movie, then you're probably not going to enjoy it that much.
That's true.
If you're not in the mood for watching something epic right now and you watch Lord of the Rings, you're probably going to be like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So that's one of the best films ever made, in my opinion.
I agree. But Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Film trilogies, right?
Well, yeah, it's one of the best trilogies ever. But Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, The Mask, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, Liar Liar, which that's my favorite Jim Carrey movie. And then of course, he had a multitude of dramatic films that he was in. He was in The Majestic, which is it's okay. But then he did The Number 23 and I'm like, Jim, what are you doing?
I actually like that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I enjoyed it.
I didn't. But then around the early 2000s, he was trying to find a new thing. So he tried out a movie called Bruce Almighty. And I remember watching the preview for this with my dad, and the preview was literally just what if you were given the power of God? Well, this summer, it winds up in the hands of someone you won't expect. Then you see Jim Carrey strutting down the street to dun, 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 I got the power, boom, and makes the fire hydrant explode, and then he makes the woman's skirt blow up, and then and my dad was just no, we are not watching this. And then you know what happened?
That's exactly what I thought when I saw the preview for it.
me and Dad went and watched it. I swear to God, I hadn't heard my dad belly laugh like that in a long time. And it also has a fairly good message in it, in terms of my opinion. Now, looking back on it now, there are things that I'm like a little questionable on it, but I still overall like it. It's not my favorite Jim Carrey movie, but it's got some really funny moments in it.
So,
also, this birthed the meme of Morgan Freeman as God.
A bit of background that I don't know if I've ever said on the channel before. I think people that pay attention might know that I'm a Christian. I'm very tolerant of everyone, though, and I don't subscribe to a lot of the beliefs that Christians have that treat people badly. Like, I believe in treating everyone well.
He's not a zealot. He's not a zealot, and he's not a fundamentalist.
But when I was younger, I was a lot more, like, prudish, for sure. Like,
happens.
I remember at one point I was like, I would absolutely never light anything on fire and inhale it into my lungs and defile my body like that. And so much for that.
And here he is.
And I was like, I will wait till marriage for sexual activities. So much for that. And I was also just like, comedy that makes fun of God is not cool. And then at one point, I just had the epiphany. I was like, if we are to believe that God exists and made us, we must acknowledge the fact that he gave us the capacity to both perform and enjoy comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, God has a sense of humor.
Of course God has a sense of humor. Look at the duck-billed platypus. That thing's hilarious.
And if God wants to smite us down for using our sense of humor to relate to him, then
may he strike me down.
What is he doing? Know what I mean? Like, why would he do that? So, I mean, I am a lot more open to this movie now. I just never got around to watching it because when I first saw the preview, I was like, no. I was like, this seems blasphemous. I don't like that idea.
That's fine. But we're going to be watching this a bit. And also, this is the first movie I ever remember seeing Steve Carell in. There's a lot of, like, big names in this. I mean, like, Morgan Freeman, Jim Carrey, Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell, Catherine Bell. Catherine Bell in this, I just remember just being, like, so attracted to her in this because I was, like, 15. I was like, whoa.
I was a big Jennifer Aniston fan for a while, and then for some reason my taste just changed later on.
You were a faniston of Miss Aniston?
Yeah.
I get that. I was too. Well, we got this queued up here. Let's see what old Dougie Boy's got to say about it, and here we go.
This episode brought to you by
I still think Jennifer
America's
Aniston
number
seems like
one
a pretty
ready
cool
to eat.
lady, though, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, I just don't.
Well, dude,
I used to be like, she's really hot, and then I just saw a bunch of other women, and I'm like, she's still a nice lady, but she's not like my wow lady, you know.
Yeah. I'll be honest. As much as I found her attractive in this, I was more attracted to Catherine Bell.
Eat Meal Kit. Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to.
Hi, Doug.
Sometimes you get all the right ingredients together and yet you end up asking yourself, how the hell did I get a cake like that? Bruce Almighty, I've no doubt, is probably liked by a fair amount of people, and I'm just gonna take a wild guess and say most of them grew up with it. But I think most people can agree it's not on the same level as other Carrey comedies like The Mask or Dumb and Dumber.
No.
But why is that?
No, it is not.
Again,
No, even I'll freely admit that. Like I said, this is not my favorite Jim Carrey comedy, but there are parts in it that I found very funny. But Liar Liar is my favorite one. Dumb and Dumber is also really good, as is The Mask, Ace Ventura. Yeah. Jim Carrey is really good at comedy.
Out in 2003 when Carrey wasn't at his box office peak, but was still a huge draw. It was from other Carrey collaborators who made some enjoyable hits in the past. And the premise just sounds funny. Jim Carrey takes over as God. But most people agree something just felt off. Its Rotten Tomato score from critics and audiences isn't that strong. Despite a great opening weekend, the second week was a bigger drop than usual for a Carrey flick. And like I said, it's just not talked about much when discussing other great Carrey comedies. So, what is it about this film that just doesn't feel right? Well, let's use divine intervention to find out. This is not the worst, but still pretty awkward. Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, the
I'll say
Evan
this, as the
Almighty, I
credits
didn't
roll, I
like
don't
as
think I've
much.
had a movie signaled to me so quickly this just wasn't gonna be my kind of comedy. Jim Carrey and a hair dye? He doesn't wear hair dyes, that's silly.
God, why do you hate me?
And that's the idea of the movie! This film's jumping right to the fun stuff! We see Carrey playing reporter Bruce Nolan, who mainly covers puff pieces like the world's biggest cookie. Certainly a lighter story you would see on the news, but even the way this is handled feels odd. So two things went through my head while watching this. One, maybe the world's biggest cookie isn't that funny. It just makes me hungry for what I think Chips Ahoy should taste like, and then disappointed when I remember what Chips Ahoy tastes like.
Ouch.
Second, stop me if you've heard this one, Jim Carrey really is too over the top for this. Now, like I've mentioned before, this can work great when properly motivated, like the lovable loser in The Mask or a selfish lawyer getting his comeuppance in Liar Liar. But here, he's supposed to be a snarky reporter who wants serious stories to cover, and I just don't buy it.
Sucks. It's a story about a cookie. I have no credibility. Not good. Not good.
When Bill Murray had to play a similar role in Groundhog Day, he mostly stayed professional, but you can tell there's that cynicism trying to get out and let people know he's miserable.
So I guess the question we have to ask ourselves today is, does Phil feel lucky?
This is your third year in a row, isn't it, Phil?
4, Nan. 4.
Carrey either makes it painfully obvious he doesn't want to be there, or painfully obvious he does want to be there, going more for what's big and silly as opposed to what's believable, which I don't think is what this movie needs.
It's a good thing we're wearing these today, because I wouldn't want any stray hairs to fall into the booger.
So, the whole deal with him here is if he would have played it a little more subtle, that he was upset with like being given just like puff pieces and not being given serious news stories. I mean, I think it could have worked. The comedy would have probably worked better. But again, it's Jim Carrey, and you want him to be there to be over animated and like over the top with his facial reactions and his body like very animated like body humor and all that. But I can agree with Doug on this.
Jennifer Aniston plays his girlfriend Grace, who does what she does best, giving a great performance with a script that clearly doesn't deserve a great performance. See if this sounds familiar. She's the emotional support for the goofy main character.
Bruce, you promised that you would help me with this photo album. Now you get your goofy butt over here.
And again, she does a great job, but because Carrey's performance always feels like a performance, it makes it hard to believe their chemistry.
Time to get up.
Me on Monday mornings.
This movie...
See, there's some genuinely funny stuff in this.
That was literally me as a kid whenever my mom would wake me up to school. And just,
Me too.
fuck.
Me too. I'd be like, I don't want to go.
I've had to get up before, and I've literally rolled over and just been like to my bed because I'm like, I don't fucking want to wake up right now.
I've been there.
needs a nap. This is kind of like in She-Hulk, where the main character complains about nobody taking her seriously when she does everything in her power not to be taken seriously. Who in any dimension would look at this guy and say, yeah, his dream clearly is to become a serious anchorman?
And that's the way the cookie crumbles. And that's the way, I like it.
The bad Ernest movie's called They Want Their Everything Back.
Oh, come on.
Oh, and if anyone thought John Debney's music was overly whimsical and Liar Liar, just going by the score, you'd swear every scene is Winnie the Pooh introducing Tinkerbell to Christmas.
Grace the dog.
It's a mutt
Yeah, that
pissing. It's
score
pretty
is
low on the
very
magical
off for
moment
that.
scale.
Yeah, I agree. It really wish they could have
That
done
score
like
needed
little
like a
something,
boom, 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 boom,
something goofy, something like yeah, something more goofy instead of na 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 na.
Vega literally just did part of the Final Fantasy IX soundtrack, but it would have worked better than what they had.
True, yeah.
They stockpile this stuff in a warehouse.
Where did you hear that?
A very reliable friend of a girl whose sister is going out with someone very high up in the government.
Ah, he wants to be a cable news anchor.
Prayer beads. The kids made them for me. They will keep you safe.
It'll protect you from roles with Eastern European accents. Occasionally there is a laugh.
Meeting started without me. This is my luck. This is my luck.
And again, some more good casting with Steve Carell playing Evan Baxter. A reporter is also after a news anchor position.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
You like jazz, Evan?
I'm sure I Pearl Harbored my comments section on my review of B-movie. Don't do callbacks. Though if there was a meme to respond to another meme, I guess that'd be it.
Yes, yes. Do you like jazz? Sure. I can hold that note all day, buddy.
Great choice, Jack. This is the Cadillac of baloney.
Okay, thanks.
Well, that guy certainly did something with the one line he had.
Look, Bruce, you're a good reporter. You make people laugh.
Like reporters are supposed to do? Why does everybody think journalism is stand-up? Okay, answer my own questions again.
It's not
Our
wrong.
beloved Pete Feynman is retiring.
While doing a story live, he gets interrupted to be told that Evan got the news anchor position Bruce was fighting for. Well, given everything else I've seen from Carrey, I'm sure he'll bring a lot of subtlety to his reaction.
Eroding beneath me! Eroding! Eroding! Eroding!
Making silly faces to the camera is childish and should only be done by YouTubers in their 40s.
I'm not 40 yet, but I'm getting there. Damn it.
Did you feel bad at all letting Leo DiCaprio drown while you were safe floating on the big door?
And she's like, what?
Actually, the funniest thing is, he was just like, he literally starts the interview. He's like, I'm here with Katharine Hepburn's mom. And, hey, how did it feel? Like, Jesus Christ. Katharine Hepburn literally died that year. She was like 96 years old. So I was just, that's a little inside baseball, but the Leo DiCaprio line was really good. And then also how he ends this interview is hilarious.
Okay, that one's pretty good. Want to see the moment when Hollywood start botching that one F-bomb in a PG-13 film loophole?
I'm Bruce Nolan for Eyewitness News. Back to you, fuckers.
Hey, if you want to crash out, man, way to crash out. Damn. Probably gonna get your freaking station fined like $1 million by the FCC for that one. Damn.
That guy trying to swear in Fargo made it sound less weird than him. No surprise, he's fired from his job.
I thought it was funny.
He does stick up for a homeless man being mocked, resulting in himself getting beaten up.
Let's thank God.
Oh yeah, by Hector.
Stick up for a homeless man
Literally
being mocked,
the same Latino dude who plays a Latino dude named Hector in every fucking movie that he's in. I'm not joking. It's a thing. His credits, like 7 of the credits under his name is Hector. That's literally it. So I just call him Hector from now on.
And himself getting beaten up.
Let's thank God, shall we?
Honey, you know that everything happens for a reason.
That is a cliche. That is not helpful to me.
It's the first believable thing he said. Has anyone ever reacted to that phrase like,
You know that everything happens for a reason.
huh, things do suddenly make a lot more sense, thank you.
It's not the fact that that happened for a reason. There was a reason behind it. And I think that people get lost in the misnomer of it. People say things happen for a reason. No, there was a reason why that happened. It was because a megalomaniac literally took over most of Europe and killed a shit ton of people. And then a shit ton of people died trying to kill him. Horrific Deaths of World War II.
Oh.
That's what he was reading.
Oh, okay. I missed his book title. I was like, where the fuck did you jump to there from? I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Also, the Japanese were assholes.
Huh, things do suddenly make a lot more sense, thank you. He, of course, blames God for all his problems, and I'm sorry, not only is Carrey not believable here, but he is way too unlikable.
I'm not okay with a mediocre life!
So is that what you think that we have?
Don't make this about you.
No, you're making it about you, you dick. A mediocre life? Dude, you're in a relationship with Jennifer Aniston in a big-ass apartment, and you literally make a living, like, on television. That's a dream. That's a dream most people have. You've got it.
Well, he made a living on television. He's probably fired after.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, he did get shit canned after that, but yeah. Anyway.
I'm the only one trying to sink this production. I think I deserve the credit.
It's always about you.
Perfect. I'll have the worst day of my life with a side order of guilt, please.
That wonderful moment when you realize I still have an hour 20 with this character. He uses the prayer beads to ask God for a miracle, but it ends up crashing his car. So he declares that God is the one who should be fired. Then suddenly he starts getting paged constantly from an unknown number.
Well, okay. He uses the prayer beads. He literally is holding them, and he's just like, God, I really need you right now. And then in front of him, literally a truck that's hauling road signs that says, stop, danger ahead. And he's like, oh, come on, get out of the way. Like, literally, the signs are like shining right in his face. And it's like those who do not see are blind. It's those who do not see the signs literally are blind. And so yeah. But
he uses the prayer beads to ask God for a miracle, but it ends up crashing his car. So he declares that God is the one who should be fired. Then suddenly he starts getting...
Also, the hilarious line, smite me, oh mighty smiter!
Being paged constantly from an unknown number.
Oh, God.
Yeet!
Does this guy do anything normal? I'd swear he's want to fly with a flamethrower. He eventually calls the number, though, and apparently he's getting offered a job at a strange location. And I know it's not fair comparing Jim Carrey to Bill Murray. They both have completely different styles, but when a news anchor steps in a puddle, it's impossible not to connect it back to Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
And guess who did the reaction better?
Oh! Come on! Look! What is that? What is that?
You know the idea of acting is pretending a camera is not on you, right? He runs into a janitor, played by Morgan Freeman, who asks him to help with the floor, but Bruce says he'll have to give him a rain check.
I'm free on the 7th. That's 7.
7th, that's 7 it is.
And yeah, okay, I like God as a janitor. I think that's a pretty cool idea. And as Bruce goes further up, he sees the same man in a fine suit. And I'll totally admit I was a janitor when this film came out, so this line kind of stuck with me.
People underestimate the benefit of good old manual labor. It's freedom in it. Some of the happiest people in the world go home smelling to high heavens at the end of the day.
Granted, the way you leave that job could also lead to some happy moments.
Yeah, and in all honesty, yeah, that's...
He introduces himself as God, and it is weirdly an understatement to say this is very good casting. Freeman plays this role so naturally, and seeing how we've heard his voice through countless narrations, it does make sense he would represent the ultimate voice.
Oh, I know quite a lot about you, Bruce. Just about everything there is to know.
And yeah, I hate to keep bashing on him so much, but Freeman's pitch-perfect delivery really does reflect even more how irritatingly off Carrey's delivery is.
I'm God.
Bingo! Yahtzee! Is that your final answer? Our survey says...
Freeman's so good, I really do believe he's the creator looking at his creation thinking, I really should have had him born with a bottle of Ritalin in his hand.
Or have someone on standby with a tranquilizer gun, Jesus.
Again, though, some of these bits are good.
Okay, how many fingers am I holding up?
7.
Ah, the first AI special effect. I'm sure you know where this is going. Bruce thinks he can do the job better, so God gives him all his powers to prove it.
When you leave this building, you will be endowed with all my powers.
You know, I think there's some dictators and war criminals slaughtering countless families, but yeah, focus your attention on this guy sick of doing big cookie stories.
Excuse me, I need a spoon.
Oh, yeah.
God's powers are similar to the devil's sometimes.
Parting the Red Sea.
You keep relying on food jokes. I do not think it is funny as you think it is funny. God decides to explain the rules to Bruce before he takes over, as he says he can't tell anyone he's God and he can't mess with free will. Alright, for the light comedic setup this movie has, those are simple and memorable rules. There is a decent idea in this. Bruce mainly uses his powers to treat women like objects, get revenge, and commit horrific acts under the guise of peace. He only read the Old Testament.
Hey, little anal-dwelling butt monkey.
Ah, how my mother would greet me every morning.
I thought she would always say, "Oh, hi, disappointment."
Wow.
Doug made that joke and I know Doug's mom passed away, and once again, still sorry for the passing of your mother, Doug. But at the same time, you know, there was also a bit where someone called him up, and the first lines that were said, he's like, "Hello?" The person said, "It's like, hello, you pathetic waste of space. Hello, you pathetic waste of space. Are you done wasting everyone's time, you sick man animal?" Mom, are you drunk again?
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Trusted internet personality that's not to be trusted. I'm here to tell you about Factor. Factor has a lot of good promotional stills like these, but there's so much more than that. Deliciously more. You can make this your best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from
channeling
Factor.
his inner Hannibal
Eating
Lecter.
well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Like listening to cars pass by. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat. Perfect for any lifestyle. With 45 weeks of menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Which is a menu made up exclusively of people with the name Moore. Do not eat people named Moore, my cautiously
picture
pessimistic...
with himself with Tim Curry on the shelf.
Yes. He actually met Tim Curry and took a picture with him.
Awesome.
Lawyer is telling me Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts and guilt-free snacks and desserts. It's easy to save more this spring. Factor meals pack in the flavor with none of the fuss. I enjoy Factor for the #1 reason you should enjoy Factor, for the great taste. You know how you try some meal kits that are delivered to you and you're like, oh, they just put some sauce on the cardboard box it was delivered in. It needs more Moore.
She has a
That thing I
totally
said
different
earlier.
energy
Well,
in the
Factor
picture
tastes
with
like a
Tim Curry
legitimately
and Tim
good
does.
meal.
Yeah.
Like whenever I open
Makes
one of
it
these
look
up,
like he
I
just
can't wait
photoshopped
to see
himself
what they
into a
taste
picture
like. They
with
are
Tim
legit,
Curry.
really.
Actually, I think that it might be the... Oh, that actually is the one. But he actually did meet Tim Curry and had Tim Curry sign that.
Oh, okay, so that is a fake.
That is the fake
I was gonna
picture.
say, it doesn't look real. Like,
Yeah,
the lighting is off and stuff.
I remember seeing the other picture where I think he's got like a personal album that has like all the like celebrities that he's met. I think he showed that off one time, but yeah, that he did get Tim to sign that, which is I think really
good.
Cool.
Not every close-up needs a laugh. Get started at factormeals.com/nostalgia50off and use the code nostalgia50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code nostalgia50off at factormeals.com/nostalgia50off for 50% off plus free shipping. I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and yes, I was looking more at the stuff behind me than I was myself. You should get Factor because of that.
Look at all the bat credit cards he got throughout the years because of the that damn bat credit card. A bat credit card!
Come watch me play Resident Evil 2 every Friday on Twitch. I've never played a Resident Evil game before, so it should be pretty fun. We also have content 5 days a week. Hope to see you there. Bruce returns home and gives himself a romantic evening with Grace, bringing the moon closer for atmosphere and... Yeah, I will admit, these two bits crack me up.
Just body slams her onto the bed.
Their bed in the basement of the building.
Hey man, sometimes it be like that.
However, it turns out moving the moon caused tsunamis in Japan. That's kind of so awful I got a snicker at it. And yeah, every comedy for a while had to have a silly pet scene to end their trailer on.
There's something about Mary.
Christmas with the crank. Bruce Almighty.
We really need that style for other genres.
Old Yeller.
God damn. I don't think that fits, Doug.
Or maybe not. He tries to get his job back by accidentally discovering the body of Jimmy Hoffa and coincidentally having a camera there to cover it. He does immediately get his job back as he keeps stumbling into amazing story after amazing story during his puff pieces. He also sabotages Evan's reports, and I'm a simple guy. Combining Steve Carell's funny voices with Jim Carrey's funny faces makes my dopamine giggle.
This is easily like the best part of the film. Me and Dad were in the floor almost. Bye.
What about the chip?
Every movie gets at least one pass to be 5 years old for a second.
Exactly.
Bruce takes Grace out to a fancy restaurant as she thinks he's finally gonna propose. Gee, I wonder
He should have proposed. He should have proposed. Instead...
well, giving her that idea.
Grace. Grace.
Yes.
I got anchor.
You got broken up with is what you got just now.
Where's the ring, buddy? Where's the ring, Brucey? Jesus.
Oh, wait, I also forgot the engagement ring. Promising me the role of lead on-air personality. You're jumping to some weird conclusions. Bruce has to be completely unlikable in another department, though, answering the prayers he's constantly hearing in his head. He tries to keep track of them in different ways, which, yeah, again, leads to some creative imagery. And he finally figures out to convert them into emails.
I just love the fact that the browser is Yahweh.
I better manifest some coffee. Hola! Juan Valdez!
I think we all know how Satan would manifest his coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's fresh mountain-grown coffee from the hills of Colombia.
Now that's a big paycheck they must have gotten for that product placement. He tries answering them all, but doesn't even make a dent, so he just says yes to all of them. Afterwards, Bruce celebrates his victory at a party. Yes, sorry, Man of Steel religious imagery. Maybe you were subtle. And we get this bit of stupid.
Would ever talk?
Oh, boy, yeah. That's Catherine Bell, by the way.
Now, you could say he wasn't really pushing her off, so he was thinking about cheating on Grace, or you could say he was forced upon and Grace just happened to walk in at the exact wrong moment. So take your pick. You can either hate it because they made an unlikable character even more unlikable, or you can hate it because it's the mother of all forced and contrived plot points. Either way, I don't feel shit for anyone, and I'm just annoyed.
You can't leave me. I'm the alpha lady. I'm the Omega baby.
This guy makes me want to say, you know, maybe Joffrey got a bad rap.
No, Doug.
Nope.
That's hyperbole. Joffrey was a little bastard. He killed Roz, bro. He killed, and he was such a petty little bastard. He got that butcher boy killed too. And Sansa's dog, lady. One of the best moments of my life was being there live in a theater, surrounded by people, and watching that little brat choke to death. I have never heard a crowd cheer so loud for the death of a character.
Especially a kid.
Oh, I know. Which is unfair for Jack Gleason, the kid who plays Joffrey. He is actually like a super sweet dude.
Oh yeah, like.
And he also gave up on acting to actually become a doctor.
The entire cast is badass.
Oh yeah. I mean, sheesh.
He changes his mind, though, and keeps trying to use his tricks to win her back. He partakes in what's commonly known as YouTuber therapy.
Love me. Love me. Love me.
All that's missing is a mirror and crying. As it looks like all the prayers he answered yes to are backfiring, as when everybody gets what they want, nobody gets what they want.
Well, you're right on time. 7 o'clock.
What? I can't believe this came back into play. Seriously, the score to Care Bears would kick this soundtrack's ass.
Yes, it would.
Alrighty then.
Well, you can quote other Jim Carrey movies you like in the hopes of confusing you into liking this one.
You want to see a miracle, son? Be the miracle.
And again, even with obvious writing, Freeman's delivery does make the message sound more meaningful and less chicken soup of the soul.
But what if I need you? What if I have questions?
That's your problem, Bruce. That's everybody's problem. You keep looking up.
Nobody ever puts together that Satan is the answer.
No.
Bruce.
It's like you're too busy looking up when everything that you need is right in front of you. That's basically the point.
Tries being a slob like one of us and finds himself being more fulfilled helping out in smaller yet more ethical ways. He even gets Evan his old job back.
In the financial world, things are settling back to normal in what analysts are calling a fluke market fluctuation.
This really is fiction. So, okay, show Gracie's change and hand the reins back to God. That'll take, what, 5 minutes, something like that? No, this film thinks we're really sucked into the high drama of it, so it's kind enough to give us 20 minutes of this. And yes, it's a slow 20 minutes.
How's Grace?
I really didn't come to chat, okay, Bruce? I came for Grace's stuff. You know what Grace does? She prays. Most of the time for you.
Dear God, please help Bruce find himself, find contentment, find you.
I don't want to hurt anymore. Help me forget. Help me let him go.
I want you to decide what's right for me. I surrender to your will.
God, The Majestic was so long and melodramatic, it's working its way into the following Jim Carrey movies.
You win. Please. I don't want to do this anymore.
Pure Flix has less crying about God and relationships. He accidentally gets hit by a truck because this movie needs to be dragged out further. And not to show off Carrey's acting, but Carrey's acting.
But why? Why now?
No, really. Count how many lines he says in a bassy whisper.
What do you want me to do?
Use them.
Peace to all of mankind.
What do you really care about?
Grace.
You want her back?
No. I want her to be happy. I want her to find someone. I want her to meet someone.
Now that's a prayer.
Through your eyes.
Yeah.
This is becoming AS Jim R. He's brought back to life after he says he just wants Grace to be happy, and guess what? Grace is only happy when she's with him.
I was such an idiot.
It's okay. I don't know what I would have done.
What a charming story this will be to tell our divorce lawyers. These two are awful for each other.
Now you're just showing off.
They end up getting engaged, and of course, his first puff piece back is talking about how important it is to give blood.
Reminding you to... You heard him.
I'm counting that face he made as a visual bassy whisper.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. Here's a twist, I guess. So the next homeless person I see could be... Oh, wait, no, he's wrong. Anyway, this movie sucks.
Oh, come on.
I'll be honest, it's a little worse than I remember it. On the one hand, yes, this is supposed to be a very lighthearted comedy. You're not supposed to think that much about it. And had it stuck to that, maybe I'd be more lenient. But it's not that funny. Even by the low bar of believability it establishes, I just don't see any of Carrey's reactions as genuine, or relatable, or even absurd enough. And B, it doesn't just stay a lighthearted comedy. It tries to go deeper, and it's not very good at it. It comes across as a little too self-important, which you can have a hint of in a comedy like this, but the last 20 minutes is so boring and really does take itself too seriously.
Yeah, if they would have cut it down to like 10 minutes instead of 20, probably would have made the ending a lot better. Just saying.
However, I will say, I don't hate the movie. The simple message is fine if you don't think too hard about it. And there are some good performances, but a lot of it just comes across as really awkward. I don't think this is Carrey's worst movie. Hell, I don't even think it's his worst comedy by a long shot. But I will say, if this film wants to be seen as one of the greats, it doesn't have a prayer. I'm a nostalgia critic, I remember, so you don't have to.
Hey, little anal-dwelling butt monkey.
What I saw, I kind of think I'd probably end up agreeing with Doug for the most part.
I hear you. Again, this movie's not for everybody, but...
Even some of the parts that you said you thought were really funny, I was just kind of like, yeah, it's all right.
Well, at least you got a laugh out of, like, some of the things in this.
Yeah, a couple things for sure.
Yeah. But, like I said, not Jim Carrey's best, but in my mind, it's still something I would watch if I had the opportunity.
He's basically playing Ace Ventura still, like in a lot of scenes when the rest of the tone of the movie is not Ace Ventura, you know?
Well, I get that, and that's sort of the problem with Jim Carrey, is that it's not the fact that he gets typecasted, it's the fact that he literally cannot help himself but be overly animated and just steal scenes whenever he's in the scenes. And it's no real fault of his own. It's just that's his way of doing comedy. That's his way of like doing stuff. I mean, you're talking to... Okay, you want to talk about someone who doesn't know when to call it quits whenever, you know, things aren't going his way? This man at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles went up after a comedian that killed, that, like, made the room just die. Like, no one in the room was, like, wanting comment. Instead, everyone was really drunk, and everyone was just, like, completely just, like, mad and yelling shit at the comedians. Jim stood up there for 20 minutes, and in the first 10 minutes, he didn't get a single laugh. Everyone was just like, you suck! Hey, get off the stage! And Jim was just like, Jim just ate it, kept going, and then eventually, after about 10 minutes, he started to win some of the crowd over. And then he won over more, and then about half the people were cheering for him. And then he's just like, I know you all are cheering for me now, but I have a song that I want to sing for you. And he goes over to the piano and he hits a few chords and he goes, Brum, I fucking hate every single one of you. Brum, I want you all to die. Just does like an improv thing on the piano. And like this, like most people, after not getting a laugh once, they're ready to call it quits on a comedy career. Jim did not care, and he just kept trucking. That's impressive. Also, it shows me that he's a little bit of a masochist when it comes to his performances. I think he overperforms because he knows like that's what he's, I guess that's what he's known for, and he wants to sort of be typecasted as that. And it came back to bite him because when he tried to do other dramatic films later on, he wasn't taken seriously. But, anywho, yeah, so... Anything else you want to add? Anything else you got to say? Or
Not really.
Okay, well, that was the Nostalgia Critic with Bruce Almighty. Hopefully y'all enjoyed, and hopefully we will see you all in the next one. But, till then, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care. Peace.